Hello, my name is Lisa and I am the teacher gardener. And this is my second year gardening. So I'm going to be sharing with you some successes this year and failures. And I'm going to start this year talking about my successes and failures from my first year of gardening. And there were a lot of successes and a lot of failures. So today what I'm so excited to share with you are my seed varieties that I'm really excited to start planting. However, I live in Rochester, New York, which is zone 6A. It's up near Lake Ontario. You may not know where that is in New York. Very close to about an hour away from Niagara Falls. I'm sure you've heard of Niagara Falls, so I'm about an hour east of Niagara Falls. We have very, very snowy winters. And right now it's end of February. Tomorrow's the 1st of March. And we did get a tiny bit of a thaw this week, which is kind of normal. You can see I have a little bit of green on my grass, but lots of snow. And my garden is definitely covered with snow still out there. Very, very cold weather. Still we're in the 30s range as far as temperature. So definitely not anywhere close to planting outside. There are a couple things though that I do need to get started indoors, and we'll talk about that. But I am setting up here in my little walkout basement area this year. Last year I used upstairs and in our living areas, and this year I'm going to be making a dedicated area down here in my basement for starting and growing, and then moving out to the outside garden. Now, the other thing I'm very excited, which we'll share in follow-up videos, is I'm going to be turning my entire garden into an indoor polytunnel. So I'm very excited about that. I have all of my PVC here, which I will show you in another video, because today I'm excited to show you my seeds. So most of these seeds are new for me, just different varieties. And so I have a few different seed companies I used this year. Compared to last year, I used just one seed company. So last year, I ordered off of Amazon. I had no idea what I was doing. I ordered this pack off of Amazon, this Heirloom 42. It had some great seeds in there. There were a lot of things I didn't use because my family likes squash. We don't eat any type of squash. We'll eat zucchini, but we don't eat squash. So there were lots of squash varieties in here that we did not even use. So I'm going to talk about some of these that I was successful with in a little bit. But because of some of my failures, I decided to do some hardier, more hybrid varieties this year to kind of get my feet a little bit more stable before trying to go back into dedicated heirloom varieties. So I do want to talk about my vegetable plants, and then I do want to talk about some exciting flower plants that we'll be putting in our front yard too. So my little basket here. I'm just going to go through some of these, and I have some pictures to show you of what the varieties look like. So my first is I have 3 different types of tomatoes that I bought. 3 different types of seeds. One variety that worked really well from my heirloom were my cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to grow my cherry tomatoes from the heirloom variety again this year. Lots and lots of great fruit off those plants. However, my husband is the only one that eats cherry tomatoes. The rest of us don't eat cherry tomatoes. So there were a lot of cherry tomatoes for him to eat. So this year, the 3 varieties that I have chosen to grow I have the Roma Tomatoes. Now, I did have a Roma tomato variety in here last year, and it was okay. It just didn't produce a lot of fruit. And so I want to go with something that's going to produce a lot of fruit this year. I only ended up with 4 jars of tomato sauce, and I have Italian heritage, and we use a lot of tomato sauce. So I'm really going to try to up my game this year with tomatoes. So I'm going to use 3 different tomatoes to combine to use in a sauce variety. So the Roma Tomatoes, and this was recommended to me in a gardening group. The San Marzano tomato, and this is actually an heirloom variety also. nice big thick walled tomatoes. And the last one that I found was the tomato super sauce hybrid from Burpee. So these were enormous tomatoes. It said about 2 pounds tomatoes each. And so I'm excited to mix these 3 varieties. 2 of them came from Burpee, and 1 of them is from Gurney's. That I'm really excited to try to up my game sauce this year. A lot of the cherry tomatoes ended up going into the sauce also because we just had so many cherry tomatoes. So that's what's going on with that. All right, my next seed packets that I want to share with you are my cucumbers. So last year I did grow cucumbers, and my cucumber varieties, I had 2 different kinds. I had the pickling, and I had regular cucumbers. However, only thing that grew were the pickling. So I'm not sure what happened with that. And many of my pickling were deformed a little bit, so they weren't fertilized properly, I think. And then by end of August, my plants they had some type of wilt or some type of fungus on them. So this year I want to, I'm going to try some varieties that are resistant to mildew and fungus, and so I am going with hybrid varieties this year to kind of get over that hump. I did have some cucumber beetles, the black and white striped ones that were hopping all over my pests. Pests were terrible last year, and I knew nothing about pests, and so I think they were spreading the mildew around. I think the way I was watering was spreading it around. So trying to get rid of the pest variety is one of the reasons why the pest issues is one of the reasons why I'm going to be doing the polytunnel this year, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait to share that whole build with you. It's going to be crazy, but it's going to be amazing if we can get it done. All right, so the varieties that I chose were the Gerklinger Pickler hybrid from Gurney's. These are resistant to downy and powdery mildew. They look awesome and amazing. These kind of look like the first few batches of pickles I got, and then afterwards mine weren't this beautiful. And then I'm also going to get the cucumber slicing cucumbers, and these varieties are both from Gurney's. They're both resistant, and they both self-pollinate. So I don't have to worry about pollinators with these. So with these and with the tomatoes, I'm going to be using the electric toothbrush method to make sure that they are fully pollinated. And so I'll be self-pollinating these with the electric toothbrush method, which I just read about a couple weeks ago. I didn't know anything about that. So if you don't know about that, you need to look into that, because that's like amazing. The electric toothbrush method. So anyway, those are my pickles and my cucumbers. My kids love eating raw cucumbers. They just love this, especially my daughter. So I definitely want to make sure I have lots of variety. And this was one thing I was able to do last year, was I was able to pickle a lot. I think I had like 6 jars of pickles last year. So, and we're still eating them. I pickled dill pickles, and I pickled sweet pickles, and families, we've only opened the dill so far, but we just love the dill pickles. So those worked well last year. One other thing too that I'm adding this year that I read about in some gardening groups and watching some other videos, which I'm so excited about, are these little the Kuka Melons. Now, I never knew anything about these, but we love cucumbers, eating them in salads or just raw, and I thought this would be a fun thing for the kids. So I have these on order. I don't have the packets yet, but these are the Mexican sour gherkin, although they're sweet. And so I'm really excited about us trying those little mini Kuka Melons. So that'll be fun, a nice fun thing. All right, so last year I had a horrible time growing cantaloupes. They got the leaves were aphids and ants. Ants were farming the aphids. I just had a terrible time with growing melons, and the melon seeds came from in here. So melons do need to be pollinated. They need a pollinator. They do not pollinate. You can't use the toothbrush method on them. They need a pollinator. So my melons, I'm gonna have to try to figure out, because they will be inside the polytunnel. So I'm gonna have to either figure out how to how to pollinate these, Or I'm going to have to maybe buy some bees in a box. I read that you can buy some bees in a box. It comes with a queen bee and like 50 bees, and they go around and they pollinate everything for you. So I haven't decided on that yet. We'll let you know how that makes out, because last year I did have some fruit, but then everything got destroyed by the aphids, and I tried everything under the sun to get rid of those aphids. And I even bought ladybugs even, and they were hungry, but then the ladybugs flew away. So anyway, this year I got the little sweet improved cantaloupe. So I'm going to try these instead of what's in this variety here. I'm going to try these. And we're going to see how that works. I'm not too confident because last year I didn't grow anything. I mean, like, it was bad. So we love melons, so we're gonna try growing that. What we did get a lot of, which was so fun, were the heirloom sugar baby watermelons. These are the tiny watermelons. They fit in about the size of your hand, and these did come from this. And these seeds were far away from the melons, and so they didn't get attacked by aphids until, I want to say, like September, like August. So didn't have aphid problems till the very, very end with these guys. So anyway, these were what I grew, a couple of them that I grew. The skin is soft on it, and you can actually eat the skin because it's not a tough watermelon type skin. My daughter, I didn't eat the skin, but my daughter would eat these just like apples. And so anyway, the seeds were a little big, but you know, that happens with, I guess, heirloom plants. And I wanted to make sure they were fully ripe, and so with that happens, you know, you get big seeds. But these were sweet and very yummy. So I'm going to try these again, see if I can do a little bit better this year with watering them and getting them to their full size this year. The next is zucchini. Now last year, sorry, my phone went. Last year I grew I grew zucchini, and you know, I only had one plant that produced out of like 10, and so it was kind of strange, but I think it was a watering issue. The plant that was really close to the sprinkler, you know, the watering area, grew big and grew like 4 zucchini for me. The rest didn't produce. So I bought from Gurney's. I got the zucchini summer squash. This is a hybrid Gurney's Pride, so it's supposed to make lots of big zucchini for the entire year. At the end of the year, my zucchini had a lot of fungus mold or something on the leaves. It was really bad at the end of the summer. So I'm hoping that this variety kind of wards off that mold, and I get lots of zucchini. We do love zucchini bread. That's my favorite thing for my son. He loves zucchini bread and zucchini muffins, and I was making this like constantly last year for him. So that's like one of his favorite treats, and I mean, we all enjoy it, but it's like my son's favorite. So I even made some extra and froze them, and I still have them in the freezer. I'm going to pull them out soon for a winter treat for him. So anyway, zucchini. We don't eat squash, like I said earlier, so I'm not growing any squash. There's no sense taking up gardening space for something that we don't ever eat. So the next thing was broccoli. Broccoli, oh my God, I had so much trouble growing my broccoli last year, and it came from this, variety here. And I guess it was the white moths. The white moths, they laid those little eggs on it. I never saw the eggs. I looked, but my broccoli leaves, gone. I had no broccoli leaves. So I got, and when I would look, the little tiny green caterpillars, from the white moths, were eating all my broccoli leaves. And so it took my broccoli forever to grow. And then finally, when I did get a couple heads, there was just the tiniest, like little this big. That's it. That's all. And I had a whole 4x4 plot for them. So it was just a lot of wasted space. So anyway, so this year I'm going with this Gurney's Blue Ribbon Hybrid. It's guaranteed. It makes huge, sweet broccoli, and I'm going to be starting this very soon also, because I know that when the heat of the summer, they said, heat of the summer comes, the stuff stops growing, kind of. So, this is more of a springish, early summer type plant. So I'm going to get this going very soon. And so I'm, maybe next year I'll try the hybrid variety again, but I had like no luck with it. So I'm going with this, and I'm helpful too, that with being in a polytunnel, I won't have to deal with the white moths, right? So nothing eating my broccoli. All right, eggplant last year. Oh my God, I ended up with a lot of eggplant last year. They were the hybrid, I mean not hybrid, they were from the heirloom variety. But the problem was I harvested them all at the same time, pretty much. And I went to make this big eggplant casserole in my kitchen and had a big kitchen fire because I was going to fry up eggplant. So we never got to taste a single one of my eggplants last year at all because of the kitchen fire. Everything had to be thrown away. So unfortunately, because we used a fire extinguisher and it just unfortunately added that mist all over the whole kitchen. So it was, anyway. So my daughter was thrilled that we didn't have to eat the eggplant because she's not an eggplant lover. Here with my Italian heritage, I love eggplant and, eggplant casserole and everything. So anyway, so I'm going to grow eggplant again this year. And this time I'm not burning my kitchen down. And so I have a Midnight Queen hybrid. I'm looking for maybe a little bit bigger because my hybrid, these from last year were a little bit small. So I am hopefully looking for something a little bit bigger. So I'm going with this hybrid variety here this year. I'm going to see what happens. And you know what? I might next year plant, if I like these, I might plant both of them and see which one I like better. As I said, I didn't get to taste any of my eggplant last year. Yeah. No fires this year. All right, so carrots. So last year I planted a lot of carrots and they were all so funny, misshapen, and oh my God, they were just like hysterical looking. And I guess maybe my soil was too compact, even though it was a sandy soil. I guess the roots just couldn't go down. I don't know what the problem was with my carrots. So I'm going to try with my carrots again this year through this variety here. But I'm also going to do this fun carrots because we do like carrots. I'm going to do this fun Kaleidoscope carrots of all different colors. I just thought that might be fun because we like carrots. My kids like raw carrots. I like cooked carrots. So, eat some raw, eat some cooked, and we're gonna try these and see if they're any fun. These come from Burpee. It's called the Kaleidoscope blend. And then I'm also going to use my carrots again from last year and see if I can figure out what I did wrong because I didn't have any pest problems with them. So one thing I did miss last year was no peppers. I didn't grow peppers. And I understand peppers are really hard to germinate. Like they are just very hard to grow and germinate because they require such warm temperatures. So I'm kind of glad I didn't venture into peppers last year. So I was looking for a pepper variety kind of, and Gurney's has one, but they don't have the seeds available for them to get. So instead what I got were the sweet peppers, the Yum Yums. These are mini bell peppers. And they look like a fun variety. We do like peppers. We like to do shish kebabs and things. So that'll be fun for that and salads and eating raw. So these came from Gurney's. And so I'm going to try growing these. These are mini bell peppers. Go try them. And then if I can ever get the seeds for the big bell peppers, I'm going to get those too. But, I wanted the different colors instead of just the green or just the red. I want the colored variety. So I'm going to keep a watch out on Gurney's for if they do make that available. Right now it says they only have the starts available, not seeds. So I'm going to keep a watch out, and if I can get those, I'm going to start growing those too. These require, it says really pretty warm temperatures to germinate. So I do have a heating pad on order for them. All right, so onto my lettuces. Now my lettuces last year, I had great success with some, and some things just never grew. So I tried growing some cabbage last year, but it did, my seedlings never really, they grew, but then they never took off. And part of that was because of, I was late to get everything in and stuff. So anyway, so this year I'm going to try growing some Napa Cabbage. This comes from Burpee, these seeds. These are mildew resistant and bolts and club root resistant. It says they're pretty easy to grow. That's what I was looking, because it seemed, from this variety pack from last year, they were it was too hard to grow. So I wanted something that would be easier to grow, and we do like cabbage, so we're going to try that. Last year, this was from last year, the heirloom seed variety, Black Seeded Simpson. These grew like crazy. They grew like 3 feet tall, and they were amazing and beautiful. And these were some pictures of my my leaves from last year. The thing is, my husband said, and I agree, they were bitter, a little bitter. So I don't think, like, if you were making a salad, you'd want to eat just pure this. So instead, I'm going to grow a couple different varieties of lettuce so we can mix them all together, so it's not just bitter salad. I mean, these were great for like hamburgers because you didn't taste, the bitterness or whatever, or a sandwich. Nice big broad leaves. They were beautiful. So this year I've got some sweet lettuce that I'm going to grow. This is green ice from Burpee lettuce, and this is supposed to be really, really sweet lettuce. So this should mix in nice with my other varieties that I have that are a little bit bitter. The other thing I'm going to do is I am growing some escarole. I love escarole. Escarole is like one of my favorite salads. So escarole, and this one is not such a it's not a very bitter variety. Some escaroles are bitter. This one's not too bitter is what it says. So I got this seed. It's called Sugar Loaf. So it's an heirloom seed, but it's not too bitter. So I'm excited to try that. So that together should make a nice variety. And then I do have another Iceberg Lettuce seed variety in here that I'm going to grow. And that was kind of interesting also. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the lettuce. I'm not sure if I'm going to put my lettuce in the polytunnel. I think instead this year what we're going to do, because my husband suggested this, when he wanted a salad or he wanted some lettuce, he didn't want to go all the way down to the garden and get it, and even though it's not far at all, he suggested, well, why don't we just plant a couple in a pot and have a garden up on our deck, because we have a really nice deck that gets tons of sun. We could have a little garden deck for just the lettuce, and I didn't have any problems with insects on my lettuce at all last year. None at all. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we could do that up on the deck this year and see how that goes. And then, lettuce is really close by, and we could pick it to eat real quick instead of having to go all the way down to the garden to pick lettuce. But and plus, since I have so much stuff going on in the garden, I could free up some space if I'm not putting lettuce in there, right? So that might be what we do this year. We put the lettuce and do a garden deck of our lettuce varieties. So considering that. Okay, so like the biggest thing I'm excited for, this is like, all right, so you've waited 20 minutes to hear this. Biggest thing I'm excited to grow this year are artichokes. The artichokes, I am so excited. I am a true Italian cook here, and I just cannot wait to try to grow artichokes. Now, artichokes have a super long growing season. They need to be started now, basically. And so I will be starting these like soon, like within the next week. So I'll post a video when I get these started. But because artichokes, I think it said they require 130 days to grow or something crazy like that. And my growing season here in 6A, where I live, is 161 days. So like these have to be started like yesterday, basically, so that I can get them, so I can get some of these veggies. So I'm so excited because I love artichokes. Stuffed artichokes are like my favorite treat. So anyway, gonna get these artichokes going soon. So this is like the thing I'm most excited for this year. All right. And then some other things I want to talk about. Last year I had great success with beans. I knocked it out with my beans. We ate beans like constantly, and they were from the heirloom variety, so I didn't order anything else. We're going with this variety again this year. So beans, I had two different kinds. Actually, I had three. We had lima beans also, which did great, but we're not lima bean eaters. I don't know why I grew lima beans, but because we never ate them. I let them go to seed, and I just have them saved. I have their seeds saved, so I'm just going to give those seeds to somebody who does eat lima beans. But anyway, I grew bush bean, I grew contender bush beans, and I grew provider green beans. And let me tell you, those provider green beans, oh my goodness, we had so many green beans, and they were thick and yummy. And so at the very end of the year, what I ended up doing was this was, at the very, very end, I ended up drying out some pods because I do not have, I have a few of the provider green beans that were from this variety here. I have just a few left, not much. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 seeds left, right? And I have no bush beans. Contender bush beans. None. I used them all last year, and they were great. So I'm really glad that I didn't, that I have them in here. So I saved them. They're all dried out. So I have my my green beans here, and I have my bush beans, and I'm gonna see if these are from last year's. And there's a few, I think, peas in here too. My peas didn't do very well. It just got too hot for them, and they just like dwindled and died. So I didn't have very good success with peas. I had like three or four pea pods, and so So anyway, so I have my beans here, and so I'm excited to see if I can get some of those growing for this year. Other things that are in here that I am going to definitely grow. As I said, I have my black-seeded Simpson. 1 million seeds of these now. Let me tell you, I don't need. I think I grew like 10 plants, and we had so many that I ended up feeding the rabbits. We have lots of bunny rabbits, which I'll end up showing you this year. We have bunny rabbits in my yard, and so they which didn't get into the garden, but I would pick the stuff and feed it to the rabbits. So I might just grow some for the rabbits this year. The large red cherry tomatoes, definitely growing those. Did great with those. The Iceberg lettuce, this was kind of a strange variety. It's an heirloom variety, and I'm going to grow this with the others, lettuce varieties. It has like a red top to it. It's kind of strange looking. My husband's just like, well, why does this lettuce have red on it? I don't know why, but it didn't change the flavor or anything to it. So lots and lots of seeds of those. So we'll be growing those. Peas, I don't know. I may try growing peas again. I wasn't very successful. I think I need to grow them in the cooler weather. I need to probably start, get them out earlier, because in the heat of summer, they just withered and died. We're not successful at all. Oh, the sugar pumpkins. So these tiny, small sugar pumpkins, I didn't grab a picture of them for you, I'm sorry, but these were the cutest little pumpkins. I ended up with only 2 because the cabbage, not cabbage, the little orange and black bugs, they were just all over it and destroyed the vines. So anyway, I'm going to try them again. These things grew like crazy, but then until they got pests, and then they didn't. So I think I got 3 pumpkins, 3 cute little pumpkins, which I never ended up pureeing. We just used them for decoration. But this year I'm going to try maybe pureeing them and maybe some pumpkin pie, because we do love pumpkin pie. The carrots, the 2 different types of carrots that I grew were the Scarlet Nanas and the Danvers carrots. I'm going to try them again along with my other varieties and see if I can amend the soil a little bit, make it a little bit easier for these guys to grow. And I think I just left them in the soil too long too. I think from what I've read, you're supposed to have like 2 harvests of carrots, one in the early summer, and then you plant again, and and then you pull again in the fall. So maybe I just didn't do it right last year. So I'm going to try that again. The sugar baby watermelon, definitely. I've got lots of seeds of those, and I actually had a ton of these. They were sitting on my counter, and we ended up with the fire that ended up throwing them away, and I should have just washed them off or whatever. But I've got enough seeds to get started this year, and I'm definitely going to save them. And then this are the Brussels sprouts. Oh my God, yeah, these were a nightmare. Along with my I never had any Brussels sprouts. Never. My broccoli. The stupid white white moths. They, lay in their eggs. They ate every single leaf, and I used everything. I tried the diatomaceous earth on them, and that would stop them for like a few days, and I'd grow some leaves, and then they'd come back, and I'd put more I could not stop the little green, cabbage, what are they called? Cabbage worms. Oh my God, they were so frustrating. So I did not get a single Brussels sprout last year, and it frustrated me to no end because I tried and tried and tried. So this year I'm going to try again inside the polytunnel, and there will not be any little white moths inside of my polytunnel. All right, so those are all of my vegetable varieties. I'm also going to do an herb some herbs, and I think I'm going to do my herbs also. I may put some in the garden, but I might do these up on the deck because I didn't have any problems with pests with these. Last year I grew scallions and I grew chives, and did great with both of these in the garden, and so I'm going to grow those again. Celery, nah, didn't have any luck with celery. Celery didn't start growing until like August or end of August. I mean, it started growing in the cold weather, so maybe I need to look more information up on this. I think celery is more of a cold, likes the colder weather, but anyway, I really didn't get very good celery last year, so I'm going to try celery again. Basil, didn't grow any basil, and I need to grow basil to go with my sauce, right? So I need to grow basil. Parsley, all right, I thought I grew parsley last year, but actually what I grew was cilantro, and I know that they're very similar, but we don't use cilantro. It's just too much it just doesn't have the right taste for what for my cooking. We don't, and so I saved it all, I chopped it up, and I put it in the freezer. So we do have lots of cilantro, but I need to dry some out and at this point and package it up. But I'm going to definitely be growing parsley this year instead of cilantro. I didn't realize I made that mistake. And then other things, I've got some dill seeds. I'm going to grow some dill. And this is radishes. I didn't grow, we're not big radish eaters, but I guess it's kind of fun to have some in a salad. I might grow a few radishes. I don't know if I have some space. I doubt I have some space with all this stuff. But so radishes. So I'll have a little bit of these here. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to show you what's going to go out in the front yard and on the side. So these are some plant varieties I'm excited to show you about. So I got some Coleuses. These came from Burpee, and this is what they're going to look like. Aren't they beautiful? This variety is called the Pineapple Surprise, and these really like sun, full sun. So these get to about 18 to 26 inches, it says. So a warm, well-lit area. They bloom in early summer. So that should be pretty. And then some other flowers I got these zinnia, the jazzy zinnia. Aren't those pretty? I just love the flowers. I mean, my favorite color is yellow, but I just love all the colors. So the jazzy zinnia, mixed colors. These grow to 18 to 24 inches, so they will be perfect. And then another type of zinnia I got, these are mixed lemonade mix. These are all from Burpee. These grow to a height of 12 inches to 18 inches. So that'll be fun. Won't those be fun? And then, okay, so I messed up. I thought I was ordering 3-foot sunflowers to go in we have a little front bed and then maybe by the mailbox to make, the bees and stuff happy and the other pollinators happy. But instead what I ordered were 2 different varieties, right? And these are 10-foot sunflowers, 10-foot sunflowers. So they can't even go in my polytunnel because, well, we'll talk about my polytunnel later, because my polytunnel is only going to be 10 feet tall. So these can't even go in my polytunnel. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to line the fence with them. That'll give a nice kind of decorative look and make the birds and everybody happy. So the 2 varieties I got were the Candy Mountain hybrids. Aren't those beautiful? Beautiful, aren't they? So these get, 10 feet tall. Beautiful. And then more traditional sunflowers, the Treasure Mountain hybrids, 10 feet tall. So those will be all beautiful, right? So after I realized I made that mistake, I went online and I'm just like, okay, I need to find the 3-foot ones I thought I was buying. And so I bought 3 different kinds. I don't have the seeds yet. The seeds are on the way. So I'm excited for these 3 different sunflowers. And so these will be in our front beds. These are the Floriston. These are 3-foot Floriston. Aren't those beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful. And then these are more, they look like traditional sunflowers, but they're 3 feet. They're called the wow. And these come from Territorial Seed Company. And I think these are both from Territorial. Yeah, these are both from Territorial. So those will be beautiful. Nice pot. And then these are from Burpee, just because I've I've watched other people post about these, and these are just so cute. And so I'm excited about getting these. These are called teddy bear sunflowers. Again, these are only 2 to 3 feet. I got these from Burpee because they were out of stock when I was ordering the other at Territorial. So I got these from Burpee coming. So they're called teddy bear sunflowers. So anyway, those are all my seeds that I'm going to grow this year. I'm going to attempt to grow. I hope you, I know this has been a super long video. I hope you will follow along with me in my gardening journey. Again, this is year number 2. And my family, you'll see my family popping in and out, helping me along the way. So I hope you'll enjoy all my adventures. I will soon be talking about what I have down here, which you can't see yet. It was all my PVC pipe. I'll be talking about that soon, and we'll be building that outside hopefully next month, and getting that up and enclosing the garden so there will be no pests this year, right? That's the goal. All right, thank you for joining me today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.